Hello, good morning. My name is Rob. I am that developer dad, and it is Thursday, August 1st. My goodness, how the year goes by. What were we doing yesterday? Oh, yes, we were playing with the LLM and trying to get it to do something a little bit more interesting or useful than just barfing out a gigantic string of stuff. And we got it to do that, but it was like emitting it in a markdown formatted string as opposed to just straight boring JSON. So let's see here. You're a helpful assistant to a busy game master. Please use the seed attributes that are provided. Okay. So let's take a look at our prompt. And we have an instruction: emit only valid JSON as specified in the output schema. During yesterday's stream, I added don't make it markdown, and it kept making it markdown, so I removed that language. Each generated attribute value must be assigned to a named property in a different JSON. Named property in a different JSON string defined in a JSON object as defined in the output schema. So let's save this and give it a run. So a setup update. I did look around this morning and found my wired switch and a couple of short Ethernet cables, and I now have my Windows laptop connected to our local LAN via Ethernet. So hopefully some of those disconnections that we were fighting with yesterday should go away, is my hope. It certainly feels a lot snappier now. Let's pick another one. 65-year-old dragonborn, retired painter, grew up as an acolyte. Yeah, let's play with this. Let's generate the description. And our VM JSON looks like this. Good. Height. Why is it doing that? That's peculiar. Whatever. I might have to change the might need to change the actual string value that comes out of that. Let's pop this back into JSON instead of a string. Okay, so 6'3", good. Yeah. Lovely. Love it. And let's let this run. I'm just going to step over that thing, and off it goes. It's thinking. And you can see that the Blazor server component, the browser mistook our pause on that breakpoint for the server process having like gone bye-bye or whatever. So it was trying to reconnect until we returned to execution. And that await basically tells the server process thread to keep running and answering keep alive pingbacks and stuff like that. Whatever it is that the browser does to make sure that the server is still actually running. So by hitting that await here on line 35 of our viewModel manager, that signaled to the server process, you can go ahead and keep replying to things. So we're back from the AI worker, and let's see what we get in our AI JSON. And I really hope it's valid. That's the text visualizer. Let's take a look at the JSON visualizer. It's not JSON formatted, and it's still got that bloody stuff. And as much as I hate to do this, I feel like different language models are gonna be they're gonna behave a little bit differently from others, and we might not be able to get it to stop doing that JSON markup or that markdown stuff. So let's do this. I'm going to go into JSON utilities. AI JSON equals AI JSON dot strip markdown. And I need, because this is going to be a fairly common thing, I expect. JSON utilities, get clean JSON, all of that stuff. Omit nulls. Let's just come up here and add it to the top. Public static string strip markdown this string JSON. And I'm going to add a comment here. Sometimes we'll request that a language model return JSON instead of sometimes when we request that a language model return JSON instead of text, the model will return that JSON surrounded by a markdown code fence despite our instructions. This method strips that markdown code fence if it's present. All right. And this, I'm not in love with this, but I think it may actually be an artifact of the model I'm using, which is Phi3 Mini. It's a little less powerful than, say, like a GPT-3.5 or 4 or 4.0 or what have you. And I suspect it's not maybe following our instructions quite the way we want it to. So strip markdown, string, JSON fence start equals, and I believe it's back JSON. String code fence end. And all code fences in Markdown are just that. And JSON equals JSON.replace JSON fence start with a string.empty. And we'll dot replace code fence end with a string.empty. There we go. Return JSON. And I really don't like doing that, but it may be unavoidable. And basically, if these strings aren't found, they'll just get rid of them. Or if those strings aren't found, the replace won't do anything. So let's try running this again, and we'll see what we get. we? PC, half orc. Let's do another. Let's do somebody who isn't retired. Here we go. Half orc who's a merchant, used to be a hermit. That's peculiar. And let's go. Let's step over. Let it do its thing. We've got some threads dying in the background, but it's doing its stuff. It's chugging away. And of course, it didn't include the JSON this time, or the markdown fence. So, like I said, LLMs are inconsistent. That's part of their nature. It can be frustrating, but that non-deterministic nature of language models is absolutely something that we need to keep in mind as we develop these things. And this is awfully wordy. We're going to do a little bit more manipulation of the prompt to get it to be maybe a lot less yappy in a minute. But I want to get the JSON out first. Now let's visualize what this stuff looks like. String is not JSON formatted. See, it keeps doing this nonsense. And I think I have to add to the instructions. Yeah, that's going to crash because it's not valid JSON. So let's come into our function. Instructions. Do not add additional text or commentary outside of the JSON object you create. That's instruction number 1. Output format should I'm going to change should to must be valid JSON as specified in the output schema. Do not add additional text. For the name, please create a name that sounds like it comes from the species please create a name from please create a given name and family name. Now, please create the name only from the species please create a name that fits. fits the provided species keep it to given and family, given and surname. Surname. Do not include titles or honorifics. And I'm going to change this to name, colon. Please keep it to given and surname. Personality. Create a short description of their personality from their. Please create a short description of their personality synthesized from their species, background, and profession. Be brief. 1 or 2 short sentences is sufficient. Background. Describe their early life using the background data provided. Be brief. 1 or 2 to 3 short sentences is enough. Mention how their background led to their current circumstances. I'm going to drop appearance up in here. Appearance. Write a short sentence describing their appearance and mode of dress. Base this description on the provided data and their current circumstance. These hotkeys, I'll get used to them eventually. Write 1 sentence. Background, current circumstances. Base this on their profession. Be sure to link their background to this circumstance. If they are retired, mention that. Be brief. 2 or 3 short sentences are enough. And 2 or 3 short sentences are enough. May not be enough of a constraint. So, be brief and to the point. These descriptions are intended to plant ideas rather than be ideas for the game master, rather than be the final description. Darn hotkeys keep tripping me up. All right. Important. We're going to get rid of this at a 3 or 4 sentence paragraph. Brief descriptions of I before E except after C unless it's some other exception. Appearance, personality, current circumstances. And history. JSON string. I'm going to move this part of the prompt up here. And I have to be sensitive to my context window. That's the total amount of tokens that can go in and come out of the LLM. So I can't get too yappy here. But I need to be explicit and use simple language. These descriptions are intended to plant ideas for the game master rather than be the final description. You know what? I'm going to get rid of that text. That's fluff. Let's save this and see what it does for us. Let it spin up. And I don't know if this is placebo effect or not, but holy cow, this, after moving over to a wired connection, my experience here in Windows is it feels a whole lot snappier than it was yesterday. Like even beyond the disconnects as the Wi-Fi was giving its head a shake, it felt sluggish and the typing wasn't always keeping up with me and everything like that. But moving over to an actual dedicated connection really makes a difference. Of course, the placement of the Windows laptop doesn't help either. It's kind of like on its edge between 2 desks. There's enough room for it to breathe, so I'm not worried about overheating or anything like that. But yeah, it's not got clear line of sight. And see, there's our JSON fences back again. Very silly. Okay, so Gaia Half-Orc, that's her name. And I want to see what that string looks like before we'll strip the markdown, make sure that we've got valid JSON. And it looks pretty valid to me. let's carry on stepping through, because we did write a lot of code that we haven't gotten to test yet. And this is our chance. So we're going to parse through the JSON document. Okay, let's take a look at gen props. Whoops. Name is AI generated Gaia half orc. I've got high hopes. Let's make sure it did the other ones. Okay, so here's personality. And we'll see what we get when we come out of this. Appearance, we got it. Current circumstances. Background. Okay. We're going to return our character attributes. Let's keep stepping. We're updating our view model. We'll return our view model. What happens out here? Return new model. Oh, heck yeah. I see those AI generated properties. And I'm just going to push the button. Go. Continue. And what do we look like out here? Name. AI, Gaia half orc. AI, dark green skin. Oh, I know why it's double doing it. Because the AI generated text is... Okay. So we did the appearance. Okay, we can fix that. That's easy enough to do. So what's happening here with the double AI tag is, excuse me, it's as we're passing the value from, we've got a couple of different generated property objects, and so we push the straight text in on the first one under set AI value, and then when we call toString, it's tacking that AI tag to the beginning of the string, and then we're passing that already tagged value into a new instance of a generated property class, and when we call toString on that, it's also adding AI. So what we got to do, easy fix, is we got to come out to not character workloads. We can pop in here. And I got to go to generated property, go to definition, and set AI value. What I'm going to do is private const string AI tag equals, just going to go ahead and grab this, paste it here, turn this into a const, because we're going to use it elsewhere in this class, right? V string AI tag equals AI generated. Here's the right way to do this. And also value dot contains AI tag equals false. Now, because we're doing a double conditional on that Boolean, I'm going to surround it with parentheses. You don't have to do that. That is a style / personal taste thing that I like to do just to make sure things are readable. If I had a really complex set of Boolean expressions, I might even go farther and surround each individual expression in my compound thing. I might actually put each expression in its own set of parentheses and put them all on their own line, much like I do with the if true, if false. But again, personal taste. I favor readability over over getting fancy or cute or keeping everything on one line. Because and it's especially important since I've got my font size blown up as much as I do, so that it carries through to the stream and the videos. Because I don't want to have to scroll back and forth across my code editor. That is a painful, crappy experience, and I don't like it. So we've fixed that issue. Let's incorporate those other values that are coming out, and let's maybe make this a little bit better. So instead of a paragraph for the name, I'm going to do this. I'm going to move species down one. So cut that, paste it here. We're not going to use, yeah, we can use H4 for the species, but I'm going to use H3 for the name. I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to change this to NPC generator. So the name is going to be an H3. Species is H4. Let's add a horizontal rule. And H4. Appearance. H5. No, H4. Background. H4. Profession. I think I'm going to put background last. So let's drop that there. Profession, background. I think I want to put a personality just below appearance. So H4, personality. And we actually need to copy this, paste this here, NPC gen personality. Let's comment this out. Something ain't right. There's our viewModel manager. Personality description. Okay. uncomment this dot npc dot personality description dot code definition. That's a string. Oh, okay. Yeah. We good. Personality description is not empty. Cut. Paste. We're only going to include the personality description if it's been added. And this dot npc dot personality description. Good. And this one gets at if this dot npc dot gen profession is not equal to string dot empty, then else so if it is empty, we're just going to go this dot npc dot profession p at this dot npc dot gen profession. Good. And then finally, if, gotta use the at, if this dot npc dot gen background, not appearance, but gen background, gen history is not string dot empty with a lowercase m. And we'll else this cut, paste, p background. I can get rid of this at this dot npc dot gen history. We can get rid of the background here because, well, that it doesn't need to be there. Let's see if I've got that double tagging anywhere else. I do not. Okay. So I keep using the Mac keyboard's little command key with S because that's what I'm used to, and I need to be using Control S in Windows. All right, let's see what this gives us. Excuse me. All right. Retired Knight, Urchin, and this is starting to get a little scrolly. I don't know if I like that. We might have to tighten this up a little bit. I think I might have too many horizontal rules and Description's going to need to go away because I'm embedding the AI stuff directly in here. So let's generate the AI stuff. And I'm going to continue. Let's see what it does for us. I still want to catch the breakpoint when it comes back from the language model, because I want to see what we get. Oh yeah, it's still adding the fence. So, not great. Sir Halbert, that'll do, I guess. Let's just continue. Get rid of that. Continue. Let's take a look at our UI. Sir Halbert, he's a halfling. Youthful halfling knight with neatly combed black hair and a light complexion, often seen in his tarnished but respected armor. Personality is unyielding despite his humble beginnings, possesses unwavering loyalty and a keen sense of justice. Profession is empty. That's a little odd. Raised as an urchin, Sir Halbert's early life was fraught with hardship. Rose through the ranks by proving himself on the battlefield, eventually earning his knighthood. Not bad. Not bad at all. I want to see what happened with the profession, so I'm going to regen this. And then we're going to talk about breaking that prompt up into smaller pieces. And getting rid of this loading screen that seems to pause. And I need to also make a decision about that naming stuff. What did we get back for our JSON? So strip that markdown. I want to see what all is in here. Current circumstances. And it's peculiar that that didn't show up there. But let's step through and make sure it's actually getting assigned. Current circumstances shows up as that. Good. Now, I want to take a look at updated VM and gen profession. There's that. Good. Let's run it. And here we go. Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. I really, really quite like this. Okay. So we've got about 15 minutes left in this morning's session. And I don't want to start changing any more code. What I do want to do is check in these changes. Got the Okay. Brings the JSON formatted language model responses back to the client, incorporates those into the viewModel and displays them on the UI. Let's open up GitHub and collect our issue tags. And we're going to close some stuff out. And I'm going to do a pull request, because I want to incorporate this stuff into the main branch. I think we're in okay shape there. Alter LLM prompt to improve the output. Yeah. So I'm going to bring this, nope, dir 63. Pound 63. Come on, gimme. Here we go. We've altered the LLM prompt to improve the output. Commit. Up to the server you go. Push. All right. Now let's open in a new tab. Pop down here into this repo. Make sure our actions are running. Seems to be. And it's just doing our builds and tests. And I do need to improve my test coverage. And I've got a to-do list a mile long of just tasks for this project right now that I don't want to do on stream, because it's just more of the same stuff that you've already seen. And I really just need to carve out time to get to it all. Now, I want to come out to code. Blazor UI project had recent pushes 57 seconds ago. Let's compare and pull request. And I'm going to grab my project list over here. And I'm just going to pull that off to another screen because I need to make notes. Our alters the AI or the LLM prompt to improve the output comes over here. And closes 63. Pound 62. 61. 60. And 59. I'm just going to assign myself to this. Labels. Excuse me. Go under coding and enhancements. Project. GM tools. Good. And let's create the pull request. Engage. Okay, it's running its build and test checks. There are no conflicts with the base branch. And while this stuff is running, I think I want to explore breaking up the AI prompt into perhaps a set of smaller prompts. We're going to do a little bit of, I guess it's a way of referring to it as query splitting. All our checks have passed. Great. And I'm trying to decide if I want to put name fragments into the individual species and profession and background templates and have the randomizer pick those, or do I want to just keep letting the AI generate that stuff for me? And honestly, for me, it's a coin toss. The AI seems to be doing okay with it, but sometimes it gives us some wacky stuff. And I just realized there's something I have to do before I go down that AI path anyway. What I do need to do is bring in drop downs for species, profession, background, and other things, so that the end user can select those if they so choose. And we need to come up with an elegant way of handling that user experience. So I think what we're going to do this afternoon is get started on adding some interactivity to our UI. And that's going to come with a lot of little detaily things that we haven't handled yet or we haven't thought about yet in a visual UI manner. And we're going to have to think about how to translate what we want to do into the way we need to do it using Blazor. And I'm going to admit right now, it's going to be an adventure for me because I haven't done this stuff in Blazor before. And it's been probably 5 years since I've created a dropdown, even in ASP.NET MVC type stuff. I've been living behind the API layer for probably the past five years. So be ready for some comedy. But I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. We'll have some fun. We'll laugh at my old man ineptitudes. And you can watch this old dog learn some new tricks. So until then, we are... actually, no, I'm not going to sign off just yet. I do want to... We're not going to attach. What even are you doing, you silly thing? Let's build. We built the solution. We rebuilt. We're going to build again. Where's my UI? You're down here. And because we've switched branches, we lost which... Oh, Rob, what are you doing? Here we go. Blazor client. We're going to set this as our startup project. Because we switched branches back to main, we lost the designation of which one of these our main client app is. So it builds. I want to make sure, we've got errors on the build. It's complaining. Maybe the errors went away. Visual Studio gets weird sometimes. All right, we've got a retired tavern keeper who was a dragonborn, grew up as a charlatan, probably decided to quit the magic ball evangelist scene to open a bar. I think I know that guy too. Let's see what it builds for us. And then as soon as this comes back and we've looked at the output and patted myself on the back for being cool, I'm going to end this session on a high note, and we'll come back and start working on some interactivity in the afternoon. Because I do have some real life chores. I am still looking for a job, and I have to create some marketing materials for myself for this one specific thing that I had a conversation about yesterday. So fingers crossed. All right. Build. Go. Come on. Yeah, there's those darn markdown fences still. That's so goofy. But it finished. Galen Greenscale dons a well-worn leather tunic beneath layers of shiny green dragonhide scales. That's a little weird. Whatever. Cunning and charming with a knack for persuasion honed by his past as a charlatan. Now retired and looking after his inherited tavern, Galen enjoys mingling with patrons but keeps one eye on the door for any scam opportunities that may arise. Once a notorious charlatan in his youth, Galen's life took a turn when he stumbled upon a dragonborn heritage. His innkeeping skills turned out to be valuable as they were lucrative, allowing him to settle down and leave the life of deception behind. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is I need to, at some point, I need to improve the grounding data that is passed in with my AI prompt. So, improve grounding data that is included with the randomly generated stuff that feeds the AI. And I'm not going to move this all the way up to the top. I'm just going to edit the description right now. Sometimes the AI doesn't quite understand enough context about what it's generating from single word or short phrase NPC attributes. Add a little bit of grounding data about each species, each background, and each vocation in the rule sets, and include that with the AI request. Cool. I'm going to update that. I'm not even going to turn this into an issue yet. This is just a draft, but it's mostly just a note to myself. Let's send this to the top. Come on, wiki wiki. Oh, boogers. I'm just going to drag it up. There, good. All right. So note to self has been made. And I think we're in a good spot for now. So until this afternoon, take care of yourselves, relax, maybe get some work done, so on and so forth. For me, I got to go do some chores and stuff. So I will see you all at 1 o'clock. Until then, take care and have fun.